How are we there, guys? And welcome to another episode of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Josh, joined by Ben. How are you, mate?
I'm not too bad, mate. Aside from having to cancel flights to Newcastle for Boxing Day, yeah. Aside from that, I'm alright.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Donning a bit of Chrissy theme tonight. Obviously, it's a fake suit. Obviously, not as good as obviously the guests that we're going to have on suit, obviously, but. As I said, welcome to everyone who's jumping in. Feel free to whack any questions you've got in for the general. He's pretty open, obviously, and let's be honest, 234 games. Knows the ins and outs of, obviously, Newcastle football. So if you've got any questions for him, feel free to whack them in there. Big shout out to Gabriel Mar, Optometrist. Thank you very much for the major sponsor. Obviously got the specs on now. Benny's just whacked his on, so there they are. Be sure to go down there and get all your eye care needs from obviously the guys down there at Gabriel Mar. But anyway, guys, we're going to get straight into it and introduce our special guest, the General, Andy Roberts. How are you, mate?
Well, Josh and Ben, how you going, guys?
Yeah, good, mate.
Very good.
Very, very good. So, how's life, mate? Obviously, a little bit worrying now. Obviously, the COVID sort of moving down. It's hit the coast. You're concerned, or?
Yeah, let's keep it down the northern beaches and whatnot, mate. Let's keep them in their bubble down there and keep it away from Newcastle and the rest of the state, which would be good. We were going so good there for a while, and now just leading up to Christmas, we don't want Christmas cancelled for everyone, so we're looking forward to a good Christmas, mate, and hopefully they can get on top of it.
Absolutely. Ben's going to be on the Facebook side as well, so if you're on Facebook, shout out, say good day, and Ben will get to any questions you've got and so forth. But we may as well start from the very, very, very beginning, mate. Newcastle born and bred, junior football. Where did it all begin?
Yeah, well, it's, like you said, Josh, I'm Newcastle born and bred, and I started playing my junior football when I was 4 years old at South Wallsend, just around the corner from where I lived at my mum and dad's at Elmore Vale, and I spent 10 years there, and won a couple of premierships with South Wallsend, and they were great times, obviously. We were playing in the inner city district then, and it was a top level for your age group. And I remember winning an under-16 grand final with South Wallsend, and my dad was a manager, so that was special. And then obviously making all the Newcastle rep teams back in the days when they had Newcastle rep teams, and travelling to the likes of New Zealand was my first overseas trip at the age of 14. And from there, making the Northern New South Wales teams and having the likes of Kenny Kaiser and Bobby Mountford as the coach there, and obviously Phil Dano's involved at that level as well. And it was when I was 17 that I got identified at the Australian titles back in the days, because you'd obviously play against New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, Queensland, WA, all guys are the same age. The best players from each state, and I got identified as a 17-year-old to go down to take up a scholarship in Canberra at the AIS when I was 18.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, what we're talking about, obviously blokes like Bobby Mumford and Phil Dando. Obviously, I was lucky enough to be coached by Bob himself at Adamstown shortly before his passing, unfortunately. But again, wealth of knowledge. So much knowledge, so much experience. And again, I was only got about 12 months with him, but again, in that 12 months, the amount of knowledge I took out of it, and obviously even now at me coaching now, I still obviously think back at some of the drills and all that sort of stuff that I learned from him, because he was a class act for sure.
He was very, very passionate, wasn't he?
Oh yeah,
very passionate man, loved his football. Obviously had it running through his veins, and from all the coaches over the years that I've had, he was one that stood out. I mainly had him at Northern New South Wales, living in the state teams and that. But there's always something you can take out of each manager, good or bad, as your career progresses. So Bobby was a great man.
Yeah, absolutely. G'day, Matt Taylor. How are you, mate? Welcome. Obviously, we talk about you growing up and stuff like that. KB United, the players obviously that we had running through there, and obviously the likes of Craig Johnson, obviously with a few stints. Cole Curran, I think was there as well. there's another one off the top of my head which I can't remember because Ben's fiddling away with me notes. But anyway, we'll
Kenny
was the one I was thinking of. That's the one I was thinking of.
Cole Curran. That's where my passion for Newcastle was born, to play for my hometown. Going to the ISC, what was known back then, the International Sports Centre, with 18,000 people as an 8-year-old, was just mind-blowing to see how the Newcastle public would get behind their local team. And these guys were my heroes growing up, and I saw some great players obviously play there. And I think it was about 1980, 81, Craig Johnson come back and he get to sign with Liverpool then, and he was playing for Middlesbrough, and they got him back on a few guest games, and I was there. He scored a hat-trick one game, I remember that. And amazing, he was just a standout player against these guys playing at national level. He was so fast and fit.
Yeah.
And, I saw Bobby Charlton play a guest game there at the ISC when he was in his 42, I think he was. He's one of the oldest players to play in National League. Nick Shannon come over for a few guest games at Southampton. And international for England. But that's where my passion for Newcastle was born, to play, to go on and play for my hometown.
Absolutely. Obviously, big crowds as well. Obviously, like in those days, obviously, you're looking nearly 18,000, 20,000. I'm sure at some of those fixtures there. But obviously, it pretty well started 91, 92, I believe. Was the first year of the Breakers.
Yeah, that's right.
The founding year of the Breakers.
I had a day gig in the IS down in Canberra. I came back in 89.
That's right.
I played for Newcastle Austral, which was the highest level at the old Breakers Stadium. And that was in the State League, so I played first grade for 2 years there, and that's when they were talking about forming the Newcastle Breakers in 91, 92 season.
Yep.
So I was lucky enough to get offered a contract, my first professional contract, at the tender age of 21, and it was just a dream come true for me to play for my hometown after all them years dreaming about it. And I remember my first game very fondly. It was against the reigning champion South Melbourne, with the likes of Trimboli, Paul Wade, Mehmet Durakovic, Ange Postecoglou, and we beat them 3-1 at Breakers Stadium. So welcome to the NSL.
Welcome to the NSL. Obviously, we go back a little bit now that I've got access to me notes. Obviously, the AIS. You stated obviously you were there. We've had plenty of guests on the show, obviously, who have made their pathway through the AIS. What was it like back then? Obviously, the amount of people that have come on have said, look, it's it was the bee's knees. It was where you needed to be.
Well, it was.
And what was it like back in those days?
It was the top gun. It was the best of talent in Australia. If you could manage to get into the AIS, you were, you're training twice a day under a professional environment. My coaches at the time were Dr. Ron Smith and Gary Cole, the ex-Socceroo and Heidelberg great. And in the team, you had Andy Patterson, Steve Mortone, that have played overseas. I was left back. You got Steve Horvat, Dominic Longo, Sean Murphy in the centre of defence, Greg Mills, Ned Zelic in the middle of the park. Johnny Gibson played over 300 games in NSL. Just some great talented guys.
List goes on.
And to be there for a year and have the experience and that sort of helped my career springboard from there. Learning from them guys and learning from them, that talented coaches, was unbelievable.
Yeah. Obviously, so that was about 88. You were there. 89 was a pretty good year for yourself. I believe it was the Australian Youth call-up.
Yeah, I was in the mix for the Australian youth team in 88 and 89, because at that stage they were preparing the Australian youth team for the 89 World Cup in Saudi Arabia. There was a new stadium just being built there, the famous stadium in Saudi Arabia, and Australia got through all the groups, and unfortunately I got injured at a crucial time when I had an knee operation which put me out for a couple of months, and I missed out on all the qualifiers, and they got through to the last group game and they had to play off against Syria, and they only needed a draw to get through to the World Cup finals in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's that famous game where it was going into injury time and we're through, and I got a call up. It's pre-phones and pre-faxes then, and I got a letter in the mail to say injured a couple of the defenders like Dominic Longo and Steve Horvat have been injured. if Australia qualify and get through against Syria, you'll be going off to the World Cup. And Syria scored a goal in 94th minute injury time, and that was the end for me. I didn't get to go to the World Cup and the rest of the boys, but just how a career can change like that. But it was an honour to get called up to play in the World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously, we'll go back to the Breakers 91-92 first season. Obviously, representing your hometown, as you said. Let's be honest, no bigger honour other than obviously playing for your country. What was the first season like? What was expected of you guys back then? Obviously, new side.
Well, it was all new to us. Had Bruce Dowell as a coach. He came with a good reputation, and you had some experienced guys. I was only young and new to NSL, and you had guys like Andy Kotzker at the back that had played and won premierships with St George, Craig Moffat, John Kosh, Polak. Jason Polak was there. There's some great talent. Noel Barkley was a New Zealand international that played up front for us. And Johnny Russell was the goalkeeper. The great JR from West Wallsend. And Mark Wilson, my long-term colleague, was in the youth team. And he's one of my long-term friends. He was in and around the scene. But, 92, we played a game against the Socceroos at Breaker Stadium, the famous game against the full-strength Socceroos. They were going into a qualifier, a couple of guest games against Sweden in a few weeks, and we played him at Breaker Stadium with a full house. And I remember that game vividly. You can watch it on YouTube; it's still there.
Sits back in the man cave.
A full-strength Socceroos team 3-1 at Breaker Stadium.
Well, I was going to say,
I was lucky enough that Brad Maloney scored two goals. Mark Wilson with an assist. We were just a group of kids with a little bit of experience that just on that particular day, we beat them, and Warren Spink scored the lone solo goal for the Socceroos that night. And he's back in the area now, and he loves Newcastle, and that's where his desire to come and play for Newcastle was born. When he played for the Socceroos, and we beat him 3-1, and I was lucky enough to get man of the match and been given the signed match ball. And that's something that's always one of my career highlights, getting the man of the match against the Socceroos.
And let's be honest, obviously 3-1 victory, obviously guys in the chat, I'm sitting here looking at the lineup now, just looking at a few of these guys in there, your Alex Tobins, your Ned Zelix, your Paul Wade was there, absolute legend.
Oh, he was one of my coaches as a youngster.
Paul Wade
was.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
No more passionate guy, you're going to meet. He obviously played that great game against Maradona in the 93 qualifier. Marked him.
And he never lets you forget it either.
No.
Why would he?
No.
What an honour. What an honour. Obviously, Matt's coming in here. What have we got? Matt Taylor. I remember going to Newcastle Breakers games at Birmingham Gardens and really enjoying it. Absolutely. What do we got? I remember going to Newcastle Breakers games at Birmingham Gardens and remember Andy Harper, Troy Halpin, and obviously the General himself playing for the Breakers. Absolutely. Andy Harper. What a name.
Great names. Obviously, Troy Halpin. Yeah. He was a local boy. He's 4 years younger than me. He went on to play. That's where his career started, obviously. He was there around the 92-93 season, but didn't get a run in with the manager then, Bruce Dowell, and he ended up trying his luck in Sydney and then on in Perth. But, and Sydney Olympic, of course. But Troy was an exceptional talent, but just wasn't given the chance. And, the likes of them guys. And, it was a great time, obviously. And, probably one of the best strikers I played with was Warren Spink. He could just, turn a game on his head. And, so them guys, there's sort of a couple of people that stick out. Obviously, Mark Wilson, my colleague Mark, and we've been through thick and thin, especially at the Breakers, because it's no different to it is now, boys. We're talking about survival of clubs, but when back in our day, you had to work a full-time job, or in my case, I'd work. I had a full-time job in the menswear store, which I own now, and even on game days, I'd go and work on a Friday at the shop and then pack up my bags at 5 o'clock and drive out to Breaker Stadium, play the game and back up for work on Saturday. It'd be just unheard of these days.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome Mary as well. What have we got here? Andy Harper was Matty Taylor's favourite, obviously Breakers player. Obviously we'll talk about the Breakers 92, 91, 92 to obviously 99, 2000. It wasn't all glamour and obviously finals football. I don't believe we made any finals football during that time as the Breakers. Any reason you think behind that? Obviously, was it just obviously the class and the quality of obviously the other sides that you were up against? And let's be honest, there's some bloody good talented players in those other sides. So
we had some great players, obviously, Josh, but we didn't seem to click. We go on a run of games unbeaten, and I think at the time we had 6 or 7 games unbeaten. When Warren Spink was there, we had a good run in the 93-94 season. We almost made the finals when the likes of Warren Spink was there, Darren Stewart, Rod Brown, and myself, and we just didn't click, and we just had some unlucky games as well. But we certainly had the talent. Flash Jennings, Graham Jennings was in the team at the time. Jimmy Foley was our manager. And he got outed, and then caretaker coach Graham Jennings came in for the end of the 93-94 season. We seemed to play better under Flash, and we're getting better results, but it was probably a bit too late to make the finals. We had some good runs, especially the 99-2000 season under Lee Sterry. We were actually top of the league with 6 to 8 weeks to go of the season. We were on such a run of 9 games unbeaten. I remember it, and you just walked out thinking you're going to win these games. You're playing against South Melbourne and the likes of Marconi and things like that. And what went against us that year was we had a couple of home games washed out with wet weather. It was just an unseasonably wet summer, pretty much like it is now. And it's a big thing in sport, momentum. That's what I'm getting at. If you continue to play games week in, week out, and that's what stopped us. A few washed out games at Breakers Stadium, we had to play midweek, and we went from top of the league. I remember scoring against Gippsland Falcons, one of the 4 career goals I scored against Gippsland Falcons at Breakers Stadium from the back post, and we beat them 2-0 that night, and we were top of the league for the first time ever. And then from there it was just like a downhill slide. We ended up finishing 7th. We got down to the last couple of games, and I remember we had a make-up game against Parramatta Power, and the young Joel Griffith scored a penalty that game, and we missed 2, and that's a game that maybe cost us. And then the last game against South Melbourne away, we lost, so we didn't make the finals that year.
Yeah, obviously, surely the 93-94 season, a little bit disappointing there. The likes of a Laurie McKenna coming in, obviously didn't come in and do his job. Carry is obviously all the way. It's only 7 games, I believe he played. But was he as good as he say he is?
He's a passenger.
Actually, Warren Spink got him to the club when Rod Brown got injured. So that's a famous story. Laurie was playing for Blacktown at the time, and we got Laurie, and he done a good job for us. Old-fashioned centre forward. You hold the ball up, you knock it to him, and you get boys running off him. But so I got fond memories of playing with Laurie, only for a short time.
Yeah. Obviously we go to 99 and 2000. It all finishes up. Obviously, it's defunct and everything else. What I suppose, obviously, to the fans out there listening now, probably thinking the same sort of scenario we're in now. Obviously, where players are obviously a little bit deflated. They don't know what's going to happen. The club's just sort of stopped, per se. Obviously, ownership's gone and everything else. Was it sort of the same scenario for you guys when obviously the season finished? Did you know straight away that obviously the Newcastle United was going to be a thing, or did it take a bit of time? Or
it was a funny time because I remember it vividly. We had a good run that season, 99-2000, like you said, under Lee Sterry, and he took a group of guys that, he got us into our roles, and we knew our roles and what to do. And mostly my role was to man mark the best striker on the opposition team and stop him from scoring. And we had the likes of John Bonavoli, Andy Harper up front. You had Todd McManus, Shane Price at the back, Bobby Catlin in goals. Mark Wilson in the middle of the park, and we just clicked that year. And it was really disappointing, I've got to say, not to make the finals when we were top of the league. And looking back on it, it's one of my big regrets not to get in the finals that year. But Lee Sterry took basically a group of he used to say a group of Volkswagens, and he'd take us down the freeway and take on the Silvertails of Sydney and stuff like that. So just to use a car analogy, I like me cars, boys. So,
yeah, that's it.
I was about to say, does that have anything to do with the Volkswagen ring you've got on your finger?
Oh, you can see that, can you?
Oh, I saw it.
There you go. Couple of big shiners. So, yeah. Fond memories of the time, though.
Yeah.
And obviously a different time. We were semi-professional and not professional. I experienced that later in my career under Ian Crook and Gary Van Egmond at Newcastle United.
Yep.
But it was around about the time of the Olympics, September 2000. We actually started our pre-season for the Breakers in 2001 season. And we played a couple of games at Breakers Stadium, and then we heard the club was going to fold, and they're going to form a new club under Con Constantine at Marathon Stadium back in the time, and that's when we all said, yeah, well, okay, if it's all in or no one's in, so we signed for the new club, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. Well, there it is. Maddie's just brought it up, which correct. What was it? August 2000, 1-1 draw against who was it? Brisbane.
Brisbane Strikers.
Brisbane Strikers. Yeah, it was the first game, obviously, for Newcastle United. Obviously, it was a good run. Obviously, the next season was a very, very good run. 2001-2, I think it was. I think it's probably the best season. Obviously, the club had ever had, and obviously in an NSL scenario. Obviously, before the A League itself, I believe. What are we looking at? 10 wins, 12 draws, 2 losses.
We finished that season because when we folded the Breakers, we had the 2000-2001 season at Energy Australia Stadium under Lee Sterry, and that's when Ian Crook come in for the 2001-2002 season. We finished second in the premiership. Yep. And we had the best defensive record in the league in the entire competition. There was Daniel Beltrami in goals. I was left back. Chris Sorotic, the New Zealand international, played for Sydney Olympic, was centre back, and Scotty Bailey on the right side. So we played a very attacking type of football, and under the guidance of Ian Crook and Gary Van Egmond, we really did well that year. We only lost 2 games all year. We had, I think, 10 or 11 draws.
It's got about 12 draws, 10 wins. Yeah. Obviously, that's the kicker right there. Obviously, too many draws, unfortunately. But obviously, did you feel it was a lot of points lost there, or was it pretty? We were happy to finish the season second, because we knew we were in back in them days it was 1-2 playoff to over 2 legs to get through to the grand final, and we finished second to Perth, who won the minor premiership, and we played Perth away in the preliminary final and got touched up 4-1 over at Subiaco in front of 40,000 people. And then we knew we had to come back home to win 3-0 to get through to the grand final directly. Yep. And at half time, Asala Massey had already scored 2 goals, so we're 2-0 up, 4-3 in aggregate. And just so much momentum in that game. The crowd was amazing. There was 18 or 19,000 at the stadium, the old stadium. And I just knew that this was our moment. And I remember saying to the boys at half time, I said, this is our opportunity to make a grand final here, boys. And I remember young Daniel McGreen, he had a chance later on to win it. Joel Griffiths had a couple of chances. We just couldn't get that final vital third goal to go 4-4 in aggregate, and that would have got us through to the grand final that year, and we would have hosted it. Yep. We ended up losing that game 2-0, and then we had a second chance against Sydney Olympic at home the following week, which we dominated again. Copped a soft goal. Asala Massey hit the post and rebound off Clint Bolton off his shoulder and went over the bar, something like the save Gordon Banks made in the 70 World Cup against Pele. It was one of them moments. Like it's harder to miss than harder to go in type thing. Yeah. But we played our grand final, I think, boys, the week before against Perth, and we were just a bit flat that game. Yeah. And then obviously Sydney Olympic went on to play Perth in Perth that year, and they won 1-0 away by Ante Milicic goal. That's it. That's exactly it. Obviously,
the record against Perth hasn't gotten any better.
No, mate, you're right. It's one of the bogey teams for Newcastle over the years, isn't it?
Big time.
100%.
Seem to get the.
Yeah, obviously we talk about Newcastle when we talk about success. We can't go past Con Constantine. Obviously, what was he like? Obviously before, obviously the A League, and probably what some of us obviously know him as. What was he like back then?
He's one of the most passionate people I've ever met, Con Constantine. You know, I've got to give him take my hat off to him for taking on Newcastle at the time, and he really gave us a lifeline to the players and supporters by taking on Newcastle United. I remember vividly my farewell game at Energy Australia Stadium in 2003. He came into the dressing shed at half time, and we're losing to the Football Kings at the time, Auckland Kings.
Yep.
And he went round to every player. It's the first time and the only time he's probably come in the dressing shed, and we're all going, what's going on? And he started pointing the finger at each and every player and saying that Andy deserves better. He's played his whole career for Newcastle, and let's get out there in the second half and give it a go. Which is like, I was a bit awestruck, but that's the type of person he was, you know. Obviously, you know, he financed the club for many years. He was there in 2008 when they won their inaugural title in the 2008 grand final against the Mariners. So, you got to take your hat off to Constantine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, he done a stellar job with what he had, and obviously that's it. You got to take your hat off to him. Success in Newcastle, that's rare. Yeah, the 2000s weren't too bad. Lady the Knights even got a premiership in there. I don't even support the Knights, so they got lucky there.
It was a good time. It was a good time. Different times, you know. Than
completely different times. That's the biggest thing as well. Obviously,
the Mariners could actually play football back then.
They could.
I was going to say, Matty's putting here, we will beat Central Coast Mariners in round 1. You know, that depends on where it's played and if there's people allowed to go.
If and when.
Yeah, if and when and possibilities.
Well, I'd go so far as to say if it's going to be played behind closed doors and just broadcasted, not liking the chance.
Yeah, look, it'll be interesting. Obviously, you know, you talk, obviously you played pretty well your whole career in Newcastle. 234 games. Like, you know, it makes you think, you know, I mean, like, when you, like, obviously, to the guys in the chat and everything else, like, 234 games, you know, let's give, I suppose, Ben Kanarowski, you know, he's had his injuries, and he's probably the only major one now that would have had a good chance of knocking that off. It won't happen now, I don't think. I think his injuries have caught up with him too much, but, you know, you look at the A-League season, you're only playing maybe, you know, 30 games if you make the grand final sort of thing, and you know, it's a long time. It's a lot of games. You know what I mean? When you think about it, and you're only saying, I think, what was it, 12 years professional career?
Yeah, 12 years. So, like, I started when I was 21 and finished up when I was 33.
Yep.
I could have played on for the last year of the old NSL, which would have made me 34. But I had a moment to go into my business, which I was working for. I had an opportunity to buy the business, and I thought, well, okay, do I play one more season of the NSL? And then there's a gap of 18 months to the A-League, and I would have been 36 at that time.
Yeah.
I still fit enough, by the way, but I thought that's going to be my future. It's what I knew, and I was happy to end my career on a good note. And I remember in my final game, my farewell game, I walked my young 18-month-old son out, Jack, and we had a special moment singing the national anthem, and I was holding him in the arms, and that was special to finish on that note on your own terms as well. And,
that's the biggest thing,
It is, you know, because your career goes so fast, boys. You know, you talk about them 12 years, but looking back on it in the moment, and you really don't take things in sometimes. And that's what I say to young players now: enjoy every game you play, because you don't know when your career might come to an end through injury or something like that. So enjoy every moment you play.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you know, 234 games, legend, captain your hometown. Obviously,
what about the 4 goals, Josh?
And I was just about to go into it. The first goal, we can't go past the first one. Surely it's probably the best of the lot. Rainy, wet pitch, obviously. Heidelberg United,
the Burgers.
Dominant.
Burgers,
They were dominant, back then. They're not too bad now.
Tough place to go to, the Olympic Village in Heidelberg, I tell you, boys. It's like a prison.
We won't
drive past there today as well.
You've probably got it down to the metre, have you, of exactly where you've...
52 metres.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I was about to say.
There you go.
I was going to say...
Somewhere, if you dig deep enough, you'll be able to find it on the NSL highlights. But yeah, 52 metres inside my own half on a wet, windy Heidelberg pitch, and I played it forward to Rod Brown, the rooster, up front, and it bounced in front of him, and it was so windy, the keeper come out to claim it, but it bounced over him as well and went into the back of the net.
Man,
the celebration was all.
I was about to say, I have seen I have seen it on the net, and the aeroplane celebration.
I'd love to see that someday. I can't find it. It's probably lost, but
mate.
Anyway, so I remember, and David Lowe's the only person in history to witness my 4 goals live.
Oh wow!
He was present at all my 4 goals. The next one took a few. It was in between drinks. It took a few years to score my next one against Brisbane at Breakers Stadium. Cosmina was a coach at that time, and he let me go the previous couple of years I wasn't in his plans for Newcastle, so I played a season in Canberra under Branko Kalina.
Yep.
And to score at Breakers Stadium in front of a full house, and it was across from Brad Witcherak. I ran about 60 metres to get on the end of it, headed it from the 18-yard box, top left corner against Clint Bolton. That celebration was special because I gave it to Cosmina running past him in the box.
Maddie's just putting on. I'm surprised that goal didn't get goal of the season.
Oh, mate, just the run. I think it was a box-to-box run because the prey bloke, I think Glenn Moore crossed it from the right fullback position to Brad Witcherak, and he ran down the wing and then crossed it in, and I made a lung bursting run of 60, 70 metres from box to box and got on the end of it, and I just happened to go in. Yeah, that was a special moment, that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, four bangers. Not everyone's as lucky as obviously some strikers or defenders to score. I suppose at least you weren't a Nigel Bugard. I suppose I'm sure you scored plenty of own goals. How many own goals do you reckon you scored throughout your career?
I scored about 3 actually from corners, trying to head them away. So I suppose let's not count them ones though. But yeah, under that year, the 99-2000 season, like I was deployed as a man marker to mark, the likes of the best Maury and Despotovsky and players like that. And Frank Ferreira, I remember coming up against him a couple of times. And earlier on in the piece, if we go back to the 93 season, I marked Mark Viduka at that Summer Street, and that was he'd just come out of the AIS scoring a bag full of goals, and actually we beat him one of the rare times we beat Melbourne Croatia in their own backyard. We won that game, and but that year, 99-2000, I was pretty much given free rein to play in the midfield, and Lee Sterry would say to me, "Now go out and mark such and such and smell his aftershave." There was one particular game we played against Marconi at Breakers Stadium, and to put my opponent off at the time, it was Brad Maloney. It's a famous story. Lee Sterry told me before the game, "Now, Robbo, don't leave him." So there was a time, there was a break in play, and he went to get a drink. So I went over to the sideline, and Frank Ferreira was giving Brad Maloney instructions, and I took a swip out of his drink just to get in his face at the sideline. And this was just before half time, boys, as well. And then at half time, we walked down the praise race, and I walked into the Marconi dressing room as well. And they're all looking around thinking, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I've been given a job, boys, to mark Brad Maloney, and I'm not leaving." So, so there you go. Just playing a bit of mind games, and yeah, funny times, eh?
Oh, back in those days, it would have been handbags at 10 paces.
Oh.
Yeah, mate, it was. Because the old Breakers Stadium, the dressing rooms were opposite doors to each other. They were literally 5 metres apart. So, if you didn't know where you were going anyway, you get confused about which dressing room
left
you
or
were
right
walking into anyway.
Bloody hell, yeah. Talking about obviously blokes like that. Obviously, we were lucky enough to have Branko on a couple of months ago. And obviously, same thing, just talking about, obviously, the olden times and,
Yeah.
The likes of your Vidukas and stuff like that. And just watching a bloke like that at that age. Yeah. He said, he just goes, it was just amazing. He goes at times he'd forget what he was trying to put through to his players, just watching him play, like you just sort of tune out and go, God, he's such a talent, so obviously to play against blokes
you knew as a young player he was always going to reach the highest level.
Oh, 100%.
But I had a season there with Branko Kalina in Canberra in 97, 98. And, we had a great team down there and we just couldn't click. And Branko actually ended up getting a sack about 4 or 5 games to go before the end of the season. And the great Rowley Rasic came in to take over the team. And I tell you what, he'd get you in the dressing room before training in each game, and an hour later he'd still be talking about the 74 Socceroos. But I'll tell you what, you'd feel like 10 foot tall and you'd want to run through a brick wall after the chats he'd give you. Such an inspirational person, Rowley Rasic.
Wow. Obviously, it was a stellar career, as we said, 234 games.
Massive career.
It ended, obviously, at the age of 33. You moved into, obviously, the business, obviously, Gentlemen's Outfitters. Before, obviously, we go into that, obviously, time, after football and stuff like that, is there anything you look back on, obviously, that you may regret? Obviously, let's be honest, you were the general for a reason. You went in hard. There was plenty of good tackles, I'm sure. Is there anything you look?
I can tell a story.
Any stories? Yeah.
How I got his name. Well, Brad Witcherak, my left wing back in front of me, played at the Breakers in the 98 to 2000 year under Lee Sterry, and that's where he nicknamed me the General, because obviously there was Chief Harrigan at the Knights.
Yep.
And so and obviously the relationship with the local pub in Newcastle, the General Roberts.
Yep.
At New Lambton.
Yep.
So he just started calling me the General, and it just stuck from there. So that's where that come about. So Chief, Knights had the Chief, and the Breakers had the General. So there you go.
Bloody beautiful. So obviously, as you said, obviously you've been there since, I believe, 2003.
Yeah, I took over the business ownership of Gentlemen's Outfitters Charlestown when I hung up the boots in 2003, and owned it ever since, and sponsored the club. The Jets ever since their first season. So, I've seen a lot of players come and go through Newcastle and fitted them up. And it's something I enjoy and I'm passionate about it.
Absolutely. Guys, if you haven't been down there, be sure to go down there and get your suits up, get your tailored done, and obviously stuff like that. As I said, who knows, you might walk in there one day and bump into a
You've got an upcoming wedding next year, Josh, so we've got to fit you up.
Oh, you got me measured.
Wait through COVID, mate, so I don't have to change a suit.
Mate, I don't even want... I'm too scared. Obviously, one of the young blokes there measured me up pre-COVID. I'm too scared to obviously go back and ask him what it is, because it won't be that now, I guarantee it.
Yeah, put on a few kilos.
Oh, yeah, COVID.
Do you reckon Sarah would let me fly everybody to Newcastle to get the suits done?
Why not? We'll class it as a buckshot. We'll do the buckshot. We'll get the suits done and sort it. Boom.
We'll just work it out on a weekend for the F3 Derby. We'll be right.
That's exactly it. So as I said, guys, be sure to go check them out. Obviously, go get your suits done and everything else, ties, shoes, whatever. They do everything. But obviously, we'll talk a little bit about current Jets. Your thoughts on the kit? Thoughts on the new kit?
It's okay. It's not the best one I've ever seen. I would have liked the one of the away strips to incorporate the cinnamon. They got the green there, but they got the white with the green running through it. But the cinnamon links it back to the KB United days, of course. And it's okay. Not as good as the Breakers strips, put it that way.
I don't mind them. They're probably the best three. You know what I mean? Like, where usually you get the one that goes, oh, that's all right, but I'm not a fan of the other two. I'm happy with the three. I could buy all three and be okay with it. Like last year's home kit, I can't buy that. It just looks terrible, in my opinion. It's just a Barcelona straight plain kit.
The best strip ever, Josh, the Breakers' first strip of 91, 92.
This is how good is it? Yeah, there it is.
Given to me by Joel Grinnell I played with at the Breakers, and he runs a a sportswear store. So he made this replica for me because the original's framed up on the wall, mate. So, but that wave going through the Breakers jersey of 91 to 93 was probably one of the best Newcastle jerseys ever.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Laurie's got one of them too.
He does have one.
Yeah, of course, because he played in 93, 94.
Yeah.
That guest in, obviously.
In the Guineas guest in, 10 game guest in, didn't even see it at 10 games. Lockie, mate, welcome, Lockie. We're just talking about your wedding, obviously, mate. So we'll have to get on.
Chris wants us to stop saying cinnamon.
Cinnamon, mate. It's the best kid. It's the best kid. What do we got? Andy is doing my wedding suits and he's an absolute legend. Absolutely, we're just talking about it, Lock.
Great man, Lockie, Ma. Yeah, looking forward to making him look his best for his wedding next year.
Absolutely. Don't know about him. He's going to get looked at no matter what. It's the groomsmen that need to look good. They're there to look at. They've got to look at him. It's obviously, with everything going on, mate. No owners obviously coming and going, backfiring. The club's in a bit of a situation. What would you like to see? What would you like to see, obviously, from the new owners that come in? You know what I mean?
I'd like some sort of stability for Newcastle football because it's been ever since the late 70s when KB United were, formed in 78. We've had a checkered history of teams coming in and out of the league and ownerships and whatnot. So this next owner, I'd like, obviously got to be passionate about Newcastle and passionate about the area and the football.
Yeah.
Because, guys, you think about our area, we've got so many internationals that have come from Newcastle over the years, 140 years of football. Some of the earliest clubs, oldest clubs in Australia are formed in this area, Wallsend, West Wallsend, Adamstown. Like I said, you've had almost 100 internationals play for Australia, 30 or 40 Matildas.
Yep.
So it's regarded as the birthplace of football in Australia, Newcastle, and not to have a national team playing at the highest level would be an absolute travesty. I remember speaking at the public forum at Energy Australia Stadium when Tinkler handed back his licence, and I was passionate about it then because obviously being my hometown, and that's when we got ownership, got through with Martin Lee, and I hope this next owner that it's the right fit for everyone, not only the club, but he's also interested in football in the area as well.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, obviously, and what I've said to a lot of people as well, in my thoughts is he's got to be passionate about the club, obviously, from a senior level, and obviously the W League as well. But obviously he's got to, I want the owner to make sure that they're putting back in to grassroots football, obviously local football, building more stadiums and stuff. Not even stadiums, but even facilities. You go to a local. You know now. Obviously, I believe you're on the doing some stuff there at the Eagles. I believe, is that right?
Yeah. I'm general manager of the WPL program at New Lambton Football Club, and they approached me in the close season to be general manager, not to coach. But I said, don't ask too much of me, guys. But they're a very ambitious club. They own the New Lambton Bowling Club now. They've taken over the ownership of the club, and they're unique in Newcastle in football because they've got a clubhouse directly opposite their ground. So my stepdaughter Macy plays for WPL in first grade, and so that's where I'm interested in that, and just to oversee things and make sure that everyone's doing their job, and it's something I'm enjoying at the moment. Yeah, along as with my menswear. And
plenty of knowledge to give, I suppose. So they've picked up a bargain there. So I'm sure you fit them all out anyway, mate. On formal
definitely,
nights.
Mate. Yeah, definitely. So like I said, boys, just tapping on all the players that I fitted over the years for the Jets, and there'd be hundreds. I met some greats like Emil Heskey. He was a challenge. He was a mere mountain. That guy. The amount of alterations I had to make to his suit was incredible. He's just such a presence, and what a great humble person he was as well. Emil Heskey. But some great players have gone through the Jets teams as well.
Oh, absolutely. I think we it was funny actually because we had Matt Vandenberg on last week, the serial pest, And
Matt,
going through his I was gobsmacked. It just I don't know. It just really made me feel old. Because we're like, can you name us your best 11? Who you think the best 11 is? And it was just like some of the blokes that you put in there. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
You're missing out so many. Yeah, it was just from a younger point of view. Obviously, there was really no early days and stuff like that. Obviously, for me,
the majority of them were.
They were current and stuff like that. I'm sitting there going, for me, Stuart Michalek has to be somewhere in there. He was brilliant. You know what I mean?
Obviously the Griffiths boys and Joel was very young when I finished my career. He came from Sydney to play for Newcastle under Ian Crook and Gary Van Egmond. And I remember Joel coming to Newcastle at the time, and I got him aside one day and I said what it means to play for Newcastle. I said, you better put in, when you cross that line, mate, it's put in everything, because you get the fans on side and they'll love you forever. Yeah. And it means something to play for Newcastle and wear the red and blue.
Correct.
And obviously he's living in the area now and he loves it. And it's, to get someone like that and take him under your wing was really enjoyable, and tell him what it meant to play for Newcastle.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing.
Breaking into stadiums and unveiling tifos and doing the floss.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Obviously, Matt. That's another one. I'm surprised. Yeah, again, he's young. He probably doesn't even know who he is. Matt Vandenberg, obviously. Steve Eagleton,
Steve Eagleton, yeah,
legend. You know what I mean? He was probably one of
play with Eags.
You would have played with him. Yeah, you would have played
towards the end of my career in 2002, 2003. He was a very quick Eags, but very injury prone as well. He had some really terrible injuries, which probably shortened his career. But I found that time when we went professional, under Ian Crook and Gary Van Egmond, my game went to the next level, because I was a naturally fit person. Because when I was young, I grew up in the summer running on the beach in Little Nippers. Yep. So I had that background of running on the sand. So when it comes to running on turf, it was easy for me.
Yeah.
When I was very young, I was Australian beach sprint champion. So I had that fitness from when I can thank my parents for that, for taking me there and giving me a good head start in my fitness and whatnot. And that put me in good stead for football. Yeah,
absolutely. I've done Little Nippers as well, actually. Friggin', I probably should be. If I was doing it now, I probably wouldn't be the kegs. I wouldn't have the kegs on me now, I suppose. But
I still to this day can't swim.
Yeah, I couldn't swim. Ben. Asked me to do the run test, mate. That'd be sick. There's some games I could worry so much I'd be violently ill before games. I was a really nervous character sometimes with big games coming up. But get me out there in the pitch and first touch and you'd be right, But get me that run test, mate. And I just went to water. Put me on the stand. I could run on top of it.
Yeah.
I was about to say, Joshy, let's not talk about first touches.
Yeah, you don't have a first touch.
I need 3 kilometres for a decent first touch.
Actually, I used to do nippers with a bloke, same sort of thing. He couldn't swim, so when we used to do the Ironman sort of things and stuff like that, he would make sure that he had a massive advantage or massive lead in the run, because he knew it was going to take him half a kilometre just to learn to kick and obviously go about 50 metres. His swim was he was trash.
I was one of those, mate. I used to hate recovery sessions when we go down the Lambton Pool, because all the forum at the university, and they used to laugh at me because Gary Van Egmond used to make us jump in the pool and we'd do freestyle or breaststroke, and then he'd say, okay, everyone do backstroke. I was the only person that went forward doing backstroke. It was incredible. I go the opposite way, boys. I don't know how that's possible, but I went the opposite way.
You see friggin' everyone, right? Everyone in the pool, everyone jumps in the pool, and you see this floating device get flung across from the sideline.
Going the other way.
There you go, Andy. Everyone's away.
Run for 90 minutes plus. It's still old records for the beat test and whatnot. And put me in a swimming pool, and I'll be nowhere. Eric the Eel, mate.
Eric the Eel.
Yes.
Old Eric the Eel. Obviously, mate, we'll finish up with obviously, if there's any sort of stories, any sort of stuff that any rituals. Did you have any sort of things you do before games? Obviously, people have got some weird things like.
I was very routine, mate, and still am. In the dressing room, I'll always sit in the same spot, and players probably do that today. They got their own little spot. Always have the number 3. Always put my left boot on first, my left shin pad. Be third out in line, walking out the players' race. Them sort of things.
Yeah.
And a lot of players, professional players, it's like a goal kicker in rugby league or rugby union. They have a routine with their kicking.
Yep.
It's just preparing yourself to go into battle basically. Because when I crossed that line, it was on, you know. I can say, like, every time I played or represented Newcastle, put that shirt on, it was always 110% for me. Yeah. No petrol, as I used to say. Walking out the race, I used to sing out "No Petrol" to our team and opposition teams, and they think, "What's Andy doing saying that?" It just meant it was like the Queenslander call from was it the guy Billy? He used to call Queenslander as they walked out.
Yeah, I do remember that. Who was that?
It was like that for me. I used to call "No Petrol," and it'd just be a call sign to say, "Give everything," basically. Left no petrol in the tank type thing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just
so that's a good story. I always have and always tell.
Obviously, the other one as well. Obviously, on the other foot, you've played with many, mate. Obviously, any characters, any sort of weird.
Oh, look, yeah, there's so many players that I played with over a span of 12 years, but, you know, you just remember the fun times, the highs and lows of professional sport, and there's some characters for sure. You know, like I learned from every manager I had, good or bad, and you take bits and pieces from them, the likes of Lee Sterry, Cosmina, Bruce Stow, Flash Jennings, Ian Crook, Evan Egmont. They all have their own different style. I've got to say Mark Wilson was always there, and we had a great relationship as friends and players playing in the midfield. For the 99-2000 season, we had a good run. We went 9 games unbeaten that year, and that's the year we should have got into the semis at least. And, you know, Mark's always been a good friend. Characters like Brad Witcherak, Anthony Surgeon, they just, you know, say something and crack up a dressing room to break the ice type thing. Andy Harper, John Bonavolia, you know, guys like that.
Yeah.
You know, some of the local guys like Todd McManus and Shane Price. That were local boys. That, you know, so they played over 100 games for Newcastle, and there's a few. So
yeah, absolutely, mate. Billy Moore was the name you were thinking of.
Billy Moore, that's him.
Yeah, Billy Moore. But obviously, mate, you know, we can't sit here and obviously without thanking you, obviously, for, you know, the contribution you gave to obviously Newcastle football, mate. 234 games.
And still gives.
And I was about to say, and still gives. Matt just put in there as well. Would Andy ever consider doing some TV football community work? Commentary work, sorry.
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, when I retired, actually, in 2003, I was asked by a local radio station at the time, 2HD, to do commentary with Andy Pascalides, the former SBS and Fox Sport guru, and I had a fun time with him. I remember our first game, we went to Ericsson Stadium in New Zealand, and I was new to commentary, obviously, and he took the call and I'd chime in with comments, and we toured around Australia that year in 2003-04. So that was an enjoyable thing that I did commentating. But yeah, always look at getting something, because football's been my life. You know, it's got me to where I am in my life, and I'm a very sort of humble person, and I'm thankful for the career I had, and don't regret anything either. You know, I would have loved to have won a championship, and that's when I said when we had that opportunity in 2001, 2002 to get to a grand final and potentially win. That's the only possibly regret I had. But we had a good season that year.
Yep. No, honestly, mate, it's been a pleasure, obviously, having a chat with you in regards to your career, obviously, and obviously, you know, everything you're doing currently, obviously, with football and around the community, mate. We thank you heaps for doing everything you do, and obviously, you know, may it continue, obviously, with the Gentlemen's Outfitters, suiting up the Jets, and obviously, you know, what you're doing now with the Eagles, obviously, in the community, mate.
Just call me anytime, guys, if you need anything. You want me to make you look your best, you come and see the General.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to seeing you next year for Lockie's wedding, Josh. And
yeah, mate.
I'd
hope to be up. I hope to be up a lot earlier than that. I think that's in like November or October or something. So hopefully up for Easter or something like that. And yeah, come in, say good day, or have a coffee or something, mate. But yeah. No, honestly, mate, muchly appreciated. Obviously, again, guys, be sure, go in, see the General, see the guys down there at the Gentleman's Outfitters. They will suit you up and make you look...
Website's in the chat.
Absolutely, yeah. The website's there. Go check them out. And, yeah, thanks very much, mate, for jumping on.
Thank you
very much, Andy.
Take it easy, mate. Thank you.
Love your work, boys.
Cheers, mate. See ya.
Cheers.
There we have it, guys. Thanks very much to the General, obviously, for jumping on. Tonight, as I said, we can't stress enough, guys. If you need your suits, go check them out. It's no different to Gabriel Ma, optometrist. If you need your eyes done, be sure to go and check out Gabriel Ma Optometry as well. Yeah, if you guys obviously want to quickly talk a bit about football, we'll quickly hang around for that. What do you got there? Thanks for your time, Andy. All the comments are coming in for Andy now. Obviously, thank you for his time. As we said, absolute Newcastle legend. You can't go past the General for that. We thank him for his time. Central Coast Mariners game looks to go ahead. It's a week away. We'll see what happens in that time. It's a long time.
Can happen in a week with COVID.
Absolutely.
That's coming from a Victorian.
Absolutely, exactly right. Well, actually, while he's sitting there, which is the one thing I totally forgot. Andy, you still there?
Yeah, boys. Yeah, still here. Just having a
Easy.
Yeah. One second before I go, there's the one thing I was going to ask you to do was maybe give the guys a bit of a tour of.
The room tour.
Oh yeah, sports bar tour. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll end the show. We'll end the show on this one, guys. We'll have a bit of a look at what the memorabilia from literally the start of it, 1970 odd, and to what it is now, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah, I'll take you for a tour, boys. This is tip of the iceberg. So we'll start off with the 78 jersey from KB United. That's a crack at that one. You got the cinnamon and green with the cards there. Breakers from 99-2000. '98-99 season. Got a bit of memorabilia from the Socceroos, 2006. That's a great one, boys. A '94 World Cup final. I was there. Took that at kickoff. 94,000 people.
We will, Sir James. We will, mate.
96-97 Breakers.
Look at that top. That's a classic. That white.
You got the championship jersey from 2008. And one of the best matches I've ever been to live was the qualifier against Uruguay. 2005.
2005.
Yeah. So,
man cave goals, absolutely. Chatty's probably just fallen off his chair. He's just
It puts mine to shame.
He's probably got more jerseys than the General.
He's probably got a lot of jerseys. He's probably all sitting on the floor. Needs to find someone who bloody runs a frame thing. No, thanks very much, mate. You enjoy your night,
Andy.
Thanks for the chat.
Take it easy, mate. See you later.
See you, boys.
See ya.
See you, mate.
Rightio, guys. As I said, thanks to the General right there for jumping on. Muchly appreciated. Ben needs to sort himself out. He's a little bit all sorts there. But yeah, as I said, we'll
always the way.
Absolutely.
Oh, I need to stop recording. Hang on.
We'll talk a little bit about Newcastle. We'll leave it up to you guys if you want to quickly talk about something in regards to the Jets, about what's going on, whether it be whatever. The season, obviously. Ownership, not that there's much to talk about in that regards. I was at the 2005 qualifier versus Uruguay in Sydney as well. Absolutely, I was there as well. What was I going to say? I think the biggest thing as well is, guys, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I can't stress enough. I think we're at about 198 subs. I would love to get to 200 subs before Chrissy. So if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube side, Luke, if you could whack the link in there, mate, that'd be muchly appreciated. I'd love to get to 200 before Chrissy. That'd be great. Unfortunately, as we stated before, we won't be up. We were due to come up, obviously, over Chrissy and stuff like that, obviously to see my family and do a few other things and shit. But because of everything that's going on, it's it was just too hard. You know what I mean? It may clear up, it may not. And at the end of the day, I can't afford to spend 14 days in quarantine, especially with a 6-week-old baby. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I can't afford to. I was meant to start back work on the 4th, and I fly back on the 1st. So 14 days in quarantine as well is 14 days without wages for me.
Look, and that's it. There'll be nothing. I'll be so gutted if it comes to it and everything clears up and we could have got away with it. I'll be gutted, but unfortunately.
Even if we were able to go, we'd be able to go to Newcastle, but we wouldn't be able to go down to Gosford to the game.
Well, and that's it. You know what I mean? As I said, the game's still going to go ahead, and it probably will be behind closed doors because Newcastle have got to travel X amount of thingos. The biggest thing is obviously the fact that the Central Coast players are on the coast, and it's now a spot, so they need to go into a harbour.
In the orange zone.
Exactly right. My New Year wish is.
But, ladies and gentlemen, in saying that, as Victorians that have previously been locked up for 6 weeks, please wear your mask, please sanitize, please wash your hands. Don't go out unless you have to.
2 cases in Newcastle or on the coast, I think it is.
We know it's a pain in the ass, but do it because the more you tell your people, your friends, whatever to do it, the quicker you'll get out of it.
Yeah. Sir James, obviously you wanted to talk about what's going on, mate. Feel free. Welcome. Let me know. Let us know. What do you want to know? What do you want to chat about? We'll get on the topic. Be COVID-19 safe. Absolutely, guys. It's just
100%.
It's that simple.
100%.
You know,
it's an inconvenience. It's an inconvenience now, but it's worth it in the long run.
The biggest thing for me, I can't understand. I seen a thing yesterday where parents, where there was a party, 16th birthday or whatever it was at Argenton, where the parents got fined for having too many people. I thought you guys were safe. Yeah, like I thought Newcastle was good. Like I thought you guys didn't really have a lockdown sense of how many people.
No, I thought that came in statewide.
Is it state? See, that's the thing. I don't know.
I thought it was statewide.
2 cases is too many. Absolutely.
There were 200 people. Noopy said.
I think the derby will go ahead with crowds. As I said, it's a long time. You guys are not you guys.
If it does go ahead with crowds, with the current recreational restrictions that are on board, it won't be allowed to have any more than 300. I think 300 people.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, hopefully it gets sorted. Hopefully the numbers go down. You went from 30 to 15. Well, not Newcastle, obviously, but Sydney. They went from 30 to 15. That's good effort. So hopefully it just keeps dropping and we go back to normal and we get through the crap. Matty, welcome, mate. How did we sign Duncan with the salary cap? That's how we signed Duncan.
With the salary cap.
Salary cap. The salary cap's got nothing to do with Martin Lee, or the fact that we don't have owners. The salary cap is set for every club, no matter what the owners do. The owners are there to put money into the club in the back room and
I think it's now gotten to a point where we're that close to the season starting that the other A-League clubs have now held to their word in all pitching in funds for the club to be able to run, or at least have the cap. That's right. We have no money, but the other, 11 A-League clubs said that they would come in to bail should shit hit the fan. And I think now that they've had to make that decision behind closed doors to do that. And that's how we are able to...
And it's now individually run by the clubs. It's not...
Yeah, and the fact that it's now Football Australia, not Football Federation Australia.
Yeah.
It is now, technically speaking, the independent A-League.
Yeah. But that's where they talk in there.
That's why we can sign Newell. That's why we can sign Duncan.
Yeah.
The next one, cross fingers, Ali Abbas.
We're only signing within our means of the salary cap. That's
correct,
all it is.
Correct.
We're not signing on...
and where the Jets can take concessions on players, they will.
Yeah.
They always have.
Yeah.
Players like Hoffman.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I said, there was at least that loan... There was that loan deal or whatever in place. I think it started last season with the youth scenario where we can go in and pick up youth players from other clubs that aren't getting games for free.
Yeah.
Like so
you'll find under 23s.
You will find a lot of clubs doing that. You know what I mean? Like, just basic. You know what I mean? Not because he's shit or anything like that. You go, well, we've got 5 strikers or whatever it is. He's not going to fit in here. Let's see if we can do a trade with another club and go, right, well, we'd like a defender. He's not a defender. You can have our striker. You give us a defender. Because our defender, our under 23 defender will probably get more of a chance, and we know our striker will because there's 5 blokes in front of him. So there'll be a lot of that going on. There'll be a lot of youth going on. But James, that's pretty much where it is. That's pretty much where it is. There's no money involved. It's the salary cap that every club has. A very trimmed salary cap. So we should be thanking Duncan because he would have had to take a big pay cut, especially coming from Saudi Arabia.
Well, not so much that, even a pay cut from what he was earning in his previous stint with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wish, Matty, but I don't see it happening.
Poor membership turnout. Yeah, I think there's only like 3,000 members that have jumped on board. Again, we can sit here every episode and go, we need to go get your membership sorted. Make sure you get onto it. Stop stressing about what's going to happen and stuff like that. But at the same time, you also have to take into consideration that people aren't in the financial position as what they were 12 months ago. No one was. I think Melbourne Victory's membership drive at the moment is under 10,000. And that's...
Yeah, everyone's taking a hit on membership. It's not just us.
You know what I mean? Like, for Melbourne Victory to not have over 10,000 members by now, this close to the season, that's got to be their worst season because, you know, the ticket memberships go on sale and the auto renewals tips them over 10,000 easy. If they even gain new
but without the auto renewals this year too.
That's just the Jets.
Yeah.
And whatever club has decided that. Melbourne Victories has an auto renewal, but the option to cancel.
Yeah.
So they gave them the option. They said, we're going to release memberships or whatever it is. If you want yours cancelled, please ring us and let us know.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where the way they went about it. It was just a virtually, if we didn't get a phone call from you, or we're going to renew it.
Consider it renewed.
Correct. I have a season ticket membership for the 2021 season. Matty, so do I, and I don't even live in the state. I also have tickets to the Central Coast game, friggin' 5 of them to be.
Yeah.
Or not 5.
I've got one.
Chris and that'll probably go as well. But I have a few.
I've got one.
that I won't be able to use. So if you need tickets, let me know.
I've got one that I can't use.
Same.
Is there a chance McDonald Jones would turf Jets out of the stadium?
No.
I heard rumblings about that, but I'm going to go with a no.
No, they're still in contract. Can't do it. So they've got to pay us out of our contract, which would help us. Thanks very much. Because we could afford to friggin' play our games at number 2 Sports Ground or friggin'...
Yeah, but Laurie won't have the men play number 2.
No, but I'm saying, like, we could... If they done that, the money that we would get back from that would cover whatever stadium we wanted locally. You know what I mean? Like... And we've got with 3,000 members. Shit, we probably fill it. What do we got? Same mate, but I wasn't well enough to go on Saturday. There was one there I think. Melbourne Victory is huge. Absolutely, there is a chance. McDonald. Yeah. There was one there I think it was. What was it? James was saying. What was it?
Ali Abbas no.
Ali Abbas no. Why no? I'd love to get your thoughts on that one. Why do you think signing a bloke of his calibre, yes, his calibre, like he's not a shit player, why would that be such a bad thing?
Especially in troubled times at the moment where a lot of clubs are having to rely heavily on their youth.
Yeah.
It's that experienced head that could do wonders.
Matty, we couldn't afford Daniel Georgievski for one game, let alone friggin' 26 or 7 or whatever the friggin' there is in the season.
7 game guest in?
Couldn't afford him for that. Couldn't afford him for one game. I plan to go to the F3 Derby if we still can. Absolutely. And so you should. So you should. So should everybody.
Everybody that can should.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Just be
and
mindful
by all means,
and be COVID safe.
And by all means, if Sydney can't get their shit together and that, and they can't sort their crap out, every A-League club is more than welcome to come down to Victoria and make a bubble, and just play all your games in Melbourne. That would suit us down to a T. If they can't sort their shit out. But again, it's just as simple as
we have lots of stadiums.
I plan to get to the F3 Derby if we still can. Good man, Matty. Pete and I have our tickets. Good boys. I've got my ticket. Beautiful.
Lads.
2 years out of the game. He's old. He hasn't been out of the game. He's been playing in friggin' Iraq.
No.
We have younger players like Simmons, Rami can play there probably more. Yeah, it's the experience head though. You've got to have to. He'd be paying for next to nothing. And his experienced head. You've got Boogs, you've got Topper, you've got him, Duncan now,
Ugarkovic, who is probably going to end up playing alongside.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, you take him. We're not going to be able to sign big name players.
He is exactly what we need. He is a defensive midfield stopper.
Luke's what's going to be noted.
He's the brick wall that will shield Stephen Ugarkovic.
I'll be cheering loud and proud on New Year's Eve at Gosford. Go the Newcastle Jets. Absolutely. And if you guys can, safely, and if you guys can without ruining yourselves.
Yeah. I'll be cheering loud and proud New Year's Eve at Gosford. Go the Jets. That's good. Just do it behind a mask.
No, I'm not jeopardising the Melbourne trip. Plus, my work will eventually
Good man. Good man, Chris.
Absolutely.
You owe me a beer for that PC.
He paid you for it.
Yes and no, he did.
Bloody.
I never said he had to pay for the beer. The beer can be in my fridge.
Okay. You gotta make him go to.
All he has to do is walk to the fridge and get it for me.
Oh, he's a slave now. Fair enough. I'm going to the F3 Derby if we can. Yeah, and everyone should. It's that simple. I'm gutted. But at the same time, as I said, it's just one of those things. With the current situation, I can't rely. I can't think.
Not being able to get back.
Yeah, I can't think about just a frigging game. You know what I mean? Like it's that simple. I'd rather my family come down and see us down here for 2 weeks or whatever it is, and so be it. I'll see them play the week after on the 8th. I'll see them play the week after that, and 3 weeks after that, 2 weeks after that. I think all 3 games in Melbourne. I think we're all within like 4 months.
Yeah, we'll be there, fucking loud and proud with bells on.
I subscribed and donated, but yes, a free water for all. Very good.
Water?
See, we'll be the Golden Boot winner this upcoming season. We be right.
No.
Yeah. We don't need Georgieski. He's another one who left to be with family, and in my opinion, he's overrated. I wouldn't go he's overrated. I think
I wouldn't go he's overrated, and he didn't leave to be with family either.
Oh, he did leave.
He left because we couldn't afford to
afford him, but he went to Western Sydney because that's where his family is. It was somewhat a family thing because we couldn't afford him.
Yeah, he only went to Western Sydney because we couldn't afford to pay him.
That's right. Laurie McKinnon is the best CEO.
But it really makes you think. Now that all this stuff has come out about Martin Lee and not putting money into the club, it just makes sense how things like that we were scratching our head about. Why are we letting our Johnny Warren medalist go? Oh, Alex Tobin. Is it Alex Tobin? Is it the Alex Tobin medal? Yeah. What's the one that they get for the best on ground in there? Yeah. Why would we let somebody of that caliber go? Now it just all makes sense.
Yeah.
You think you look at it now, 18 months down the track.
Yeah.
It all makes sense.
Correct. Look, guys, it's one of those things.
We probably did what we could to keep a hold of him.
Yeah.
But the demands in the end were just too much.
We can't afford to be sitting here making demands of who we need and who we should be getting and who we want and why they should be playing here or why they should be playing here and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, it is very simple. We have no ownership. We are run by the FFA.
No, we're not. We're run by Football Australia.
FA, whatever. And obviously, they are only going to give us our
the bare minimum.
They will give us the salary cap that's put in place. End of story. There'll be no bonuses. There'll be no friggin' back.
And this is the thing: people are turning around and going, "I'm not renewing my membership." Well, you're only helping the demise of the club, because that is from the membership that we pay. That is basically what's keeping the club afloat.
Yeah.
That's their operating budget.
You want a good laugh, obviously. Luke Gibson friggin' sent me a message today. If you jump onto Sportsbet, go have a look at the Sportsbet friggin' statistics of who will win who will make the grand final. We are paying $10 flat. Melbourne Victory are paying $15. Western Sydney Wanderers are paying $18. Western United are paying $7.50. Third behind Sydney and Perth at $5.
Really?
We are paying $10 with no owners, hardly any friggin' players signed, and we are in front of the likes of Western Sydney Wanderers, who have just friggin' taken half our squad, including our coach, backroom staff. So good odds. I'd be whacking a cheeky 10. I'd be whacking a cheeky 15 on Melbourne Victory, mate. I think they've signed fantastically. Yeah. Like shit.
Wow. Up until the last one I saw.
Yeah.
But that's a sore point. We'll leave that one alone.
We need defenders. Our defence has been poor.
No.
Really?
I don't think we need defenders.
Definitely not. 10 goals in 3 pre-season games. Yeah. Again, Matty Miller's not there. That's a big loss. Nigel Boogaard didn't play friggin' the first one. Topper has played all of them, I think. O'Toole hasn't played any of them.
Connor O'Toole is still learning the ropes.
I don't think he played a game, has he?
Yeah, he did. Played against Brisbane.
Oh, he played against Brisbane, yeah. Definitely played against Brisbane. I didn't even see the line. I can't even remember the lineups for yesterday. Or the other Sunday.
Oh, I knew he played against Brisbane because he was having one shit hell of a time running across that cricket pitch because that side of the pitch was fucking waterlogged.
They're about $10 as well, Aiden. 10 goals in 3 games.
Just because the defence is poor, it doesn't mean we need more defenders.
Absolutely, Matty. Yeah, Inspiration Paints. Yeah, good on them. Thank God for that. Hey, thank Christ we got one.
No, I'd like to rearrange that statement, and that is Inspiration Paints are actually becoming the major sponsor.
Maybe they should just think about buying the club. Moving the sponsor onto someone else. It was bad. Too much space. Well, I said it on the day on Sunday against the Wellington team. Wellington is my dark horse. I think Wellington will go very close this year. They're a great outfit. They've got a great coach.
They played well last year.
And they played really well last year. They've brought in some freaking great players.
Ufuk Talay's got them really moving.
Wellington was by far the best side we played in our pre-season. By far.
Oh, shit.
By far. Brisbane are trash. And you can't. You pretty much call that game friggin' a write-off anyway for both sides because it was Waterlogged. It was shit. You can't expect 2 friggin' professional outfits to play on that, let alone one dominant.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
MacArthur. 3-3 draw. That was our first game, obviously as well.
That's the fear of the that could be put down to the fear of the unknown.
Absolutely, James. Your opinion. Absolutely, that's fine.
100%.
Roy being poor as well, can't score. Yeah, Roy for me is the one where if we could find another striker to replace him with, I'd be happy. I think Roy is definitely done. I think he's past his best.
Well past.
Well past his best. But again, if we can't do anything about it, he scored plenty of goals last year. He scored plenty of goals, not as many as I was hoping.
He's still Roy. Even last season was still a 1 in 2.
I wouldn't go as far as saying Roy's good, Matty, but he can be okay.
As of last season, he was still a 1 in 2 man.
Yeah, correct.
And he has been the entire time he's been at the Jets. He's been he's always been a 1 in 2. Always.
Yeah.
I think the word stuck with Roy is not the right thing. Roy is a very particular type of striker.
He does play with passion. You've got to give him that. He loves. He loves he plays for the badge. He doesn't play for the money. It doesn't matter what club he's at. He will play for whoever's that badge.
Which again is evidence as to why he moved to Brisbane and then came back 6 months later. We couldn't afford. He comes back 6 months later.
Your best player in pre-season? I disagree there. Yule's good. Yule, and this is the reason why I disagree with you, right? You bring in a new player like Yule, right? He will instantly stand out to people because he's different. He's new. People haven't really seen him play, so you watch him a lot more than others. You know what I mean?
It's subconscious.
It's just
you watch him.
Why would he be here playing for Newcastle if he was as good as what you say? What we're saying he is, he would be still at Western United, playing every week. Because there wasn't a great deal of challenge for him. You had your Berisha and you had
Aiden. Apparently, it's I'd go so far as to say Stephen Ugarkovic, because apparently the one he took the other day was an absolute fucking power shot. I don't give it a fucking top for. What do we score one from the penalty spot with his head?
James. Not saying Yule's shit. Not saying he was.
No.
He was definitely. He's definitely one to watch. He looked good. Don't get me wrong.
And we have it on good authority as well that Western are sad to lose him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Levy and Jay and Wallace have come to us and said, "Fuck, you got Yule."
I'd agree, mate.
Shit, we didn't want him to go. They didn't want him to go.
Yeah. When defenders are shooting for goal, it's hard for our striker to score if the players aren't passing to him. Simple. O'Donovan's very hard. O'Donovan's one of those players where, he's very much a Rooney type player. He doesn't want the ball swinging in from the left or the right. He wants the ball being played straight to his feet. He wants it straight onto his foot in as much space as possible. So for me, the problem lies with your Ugarkovic and your stuff like that, where the ball isn't getting to him either A, quick enough, or B, he's not in the right position to receive that ball in the first place. They're the two main ones for me. It all lies with the midfield.
Some of that can't also fall on Roy as well. It also depends on who is up against him, whether he's being man marked or zonal marked by the opposition, what sort of tactic they're trying to run, or what sort of formation they're trying to run to negate that. There's a lot of factors in that. There is a lot of factors in that.
Yeah.
Where did I see it? As for the defenders shooting for goal, if our defenders in Bogard and Topol Stanley are the most likely to score from a set piece, then by all means let them take shots from set pieces. Yeah. The Jets have always done one thing very well, and that is to not rely on a single striker or a single goal source. Yeah. Goes back even prior to Merrick, prior to Carl, all them as well. The Jets' goals have not been generally solely from one person. They are a collective team effort. And they have been for as long as I can remember.
The biggest thing is defenders aren't defenders what they used to be. Defenders are...
No, you have to be adaptable.
Back in the day, friggin' you sit there as a defender and stuff like that, you don't score a goal all season, no punishment. There's no nudie run or anything like that really because friggin' you didn't score. It's not your job. Nowadays you are expected to chip in one or two. from whatever that may be, whether it be off a corner, considering you're a defender and your job is to clear the ball out. Well, they expect you to get down and obviously do that into the back of the net down there. Topper's goal is a prime example. He hit that ball from not far outside of the 18-yard box. He would not have been there. I guarantee it. I guarantee if you ask him, if he wouldn't have hit that ball, if Carl didn't give him range and free range to get there. It's that simple. As Andy said, playing through the midfield, they gave him range to go. If you want to go there, go, and there's no punishment as long as you get back.
Yeah.
So
it's a very old school mentality, but at the same point as well, that's the way that Carl wanted us to play. He wanted us to, in situations like that, he wanted us to press aggressively with everything we had to pin them back in their own box.
Yeah.
The problem therein lies with that is if that ball did not hit the back of the net and it is a quick release and a quick counter, Topper and Boogs are going to struggle to get back.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. There are pros and cons to it.
Make sure
we're just lucky that it helped us.
Make sure you go like the Facebook page as well, obviously Crossbar Capers and that, because I will be doing a poll. I will be doing a poll of where you think the Jets will finish up this season, and I will bring it back out at the end of the season to see how close we are. Because obviously I've seen a lot of them in here. There's 11th, there's 6th, there's this, there's that. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens and what people think.
It is going to be a very difficult season to predict. Because as much as we say, yeah, Wellington's going to be a dark horse and whatever, every team is going to have variables of unknown. Every team will be running 2 to 3 youth players in their first team.
Yeah.
Every team.
Yeah.
And we don't know shit from Shanghai on these young lads.
Yeah.
They could be game changers.
Yeah.
That one of them may be the next Daniel Arzani that we have not seen yet. We don't know.
Yeah.
As much as it pains me to say this, as much as it really pains me to say this, I wish we didn't let go of Redenton.
Redenton. Yeah.
You know my feelings on him.
He's a tough. I think everyone in Newcastle's feelings are the same. The biggest thing as well is, guys, obviously, yeah, we can sit here. Eighth for me is a great finish. With the situation we are sitting in right now, as of 9 p.m. or whatever it is right now, 8th is a great finish. We have no owners. We have no coach. We have no stability as a club. If we can finish 8th or higher, that's a win.
I agree with Matty.
That's a great finish. What do we got?
Doesn't matter where we finish as long as we're a finish above the scum.
Yeah, well, they're not going to be as shabby outfit as what they've been. That's for damn sure. It's going to be
King of free agents in FIFA, Matt Redenton. No, mate, there are much better free agents in FIFA than Matt Redenton. Much better free agents than Matt Redenton. Much better.
Well done, Matty. Absolutely.
Much better.
Absolutely. Jets, that's it. As long as you're a Jets fan for life, that's the way it is. Yeah, the W League scenario, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
the whole scenario of everything is it's just so shit to watch as a Jets fan.
I don't like the way that they were all announced.
We're nearly a week out from the season, and we are only announcing players now. Like, you know what I mean?
It's do or die time.
Come on. Like, seriously, that shit should have been done ages ago.
Well, hang on. Squad registrations will have to be put in probably by Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be nice, matey. Freaking Sydney finishing.
Like, you will have to list your fucking 23 odd players, 24 odd players.
Freaking 15.
Maybe a little more because of COVID now. What are they up to?
18. We've got 18 women. 18.
Oh, I'm talking about the men.
Oh, man. No, I think the max you can have is 24 or whatever it is. I think we've got about 16.
Yeah. I think we have to have all that done and dusted because they can't be put on the list by Wednesday.
Someone quickly crunch the numbers. Who? How many players have we got? Signed. How many players have we got signed? Including Matt Miller. Luke will be onto it. Matty will be onto it. Ash Wilson is the W League coach. Absolutely. And she deserves it. She's been there for a long time. And whilst Deansy is still there, why not? It's no different. She thinks something's wrong or she's not sure. She's got Deansy still there to friggin' help her out with it. So it's Deansy.
I didn't even know we signed Gemma House until I saw her at the FL Kit launch.
Nobody friggin' did. Nobody knew anything until they signed.
Yeah, we didn't know. That was their signing announcement.
Until they released those thingos on Facebook on the Jets page or whatever it is. Here are the two signings 2 by 2. No one knew. No one had a contract.
I don't agree with that.
No, absolutely not. I think it was crap.
The men get all one to themselves. Why can't the women? Yeah. Why do they have to share?
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. 100%. 100%.
And why do they all need to be released within 10 minutes of each other?
Mary, where are you? The kit launch. I'll support Ash Wilson. I wish the W League Jets all the best. Absolutely. No, I'm all for the girls. All for the girls. As I said, I'm lucky enough, obviously, to be in contact with a couple of the girls, obviously, and lucky enough that I get a bit of information off them and stuff like that. And they've been brilliant, and they've been through an absolute ringer and absolute shitstorm, just like everyone does in Newcastle and the men and stuff like that included. But at the same time, 2 weeks ago, they had no idea. They had no idea what was going on. But, friggin', your Claire Coelhos and stuff like the Coelhos and stuff like that. It's sitting there telling, their mums and cousins and friends and shit like that going to them, did you sign for Newcastle again or are you going somewhere else? Or
yeah.
Oh, it should be all done in a week. Oh, I should know in a week. I should know. Seriously? Can't even tell your friends and family. The contract was probably done freaking 6 months ago. For all we know. But because obviously it's not official, because they run on a freaking 4-month basis, they've got to wait.
Yeah.
Poor. At the end of the day, friggin', it's just it's one of those things. Make sure you get down to as many girls' games as you can. Hopefully the girls' game on the 28th goes ahead. In Newcastle, like it was meant to. There was talk going to Brisbane, etc. But we'll see how it happens. Or we definitely going to do a few down here. The wife loves going to the W League, friggin', all over that shit. So we'll be there for sure. A few of those games. I'll probably go down and watch City, obviously as well. Maybe friggin' just to watch a few of the girls down there that I know.
So are we getting any double headers?
No, I don't think there's any double headers. All throughout the whole season, I don't think there is.
Okay.
In the fixtures that I've seen.
That's a shame.
But again, there may be. It didn't state that. All it stated was the locations, the times, and shit like that for them.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got to do the maths yourself. Oh, this game's been played at Energy Australia Stadium.
Hell no.
First W League Jets game versus Brisbane, 28th of December at number 2 Sports Ground at 5 p.m. Absolutely.
We know, Matty. We were meant to be going.
Yeah, we would have been there.
We would have been there.
Had a ticket for that one too. Because I'm a member. We got W League play for 4 months and have a few buys as well. So sad. And from memory, when I saw the draw, they're not playing some clubs more than once. Exactly, Mary.
Yeah.
This is the one thing I sat down and spoke to a couple of girls about, and they were filthy. Filthy. Not only that, but they were meant to play. They're meant to play midweek games away when they all work.
Yeah, they all work.
Come on. There's 1 or 2 double headers.
They were ropeable.
Sweet. I'll be there cheering on Ash and the girls. Good on you, Matty.
Good on you, Matty.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about. It's just the locals, just you guys, the passionate people. As we had Vandy on last week talking about it, it's you guys that obviously do the town proud, and it's you guys obviously every year that the guys will recognise, the fans and girls will recognise. You coming back every year and stuff like that. No different when the girls were looking up into the crowd, waving and friggin' celebrating and stuff like that. when they were announced and stuff like that, they were looking up in the crowd, going, "Oh, if you're going to that person, they were here last year, and that one looks familiar." And that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the people that have been there through thick and thin and supported them no matter what.
And that builds them, especially the younger players as well. They know that you are there to support them.
Yeah. Matty, the fact that you can count that's impressive. 169. I've been to, a lot of games.
Nowhere near that many.
Not willing to. Oh, easy. Since 2005, easy. But again,
Jets game.
Easy. 100 games. 30.
I would have done at least 15.
2005 to 15. That's well over 100 games just there. Easy. Easy. That's a decade. Oh yeah, easy. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you've been to 5 games or you've been to friggin', 500 games. You support them for what they are.
And as
they are a home.
Said, everybody supports them in a different way.
In something different, Josh Cavallo followed me on Instagram. Beautiful. We'll try and get to the girls this year. I've just picked up a second job. Ah, beautiful, Matty. Beautiful. You should try and come down for friggin' victory for Melbourne game, mate. Come down and friggin' do Melbourne away. Friggin', there's not many to choose from because the other ones are really shit. Friday's probably the best. The one 8th of January is probably the best one to come to because it's a Friday.
Yeah,
night.
We know why you're angling for that one.
No. I'm just saying that's literally it's a Friday night. I think both of the other ones are on Sundays. Literally.
They wouldn't be able to come down anyway. They'd have to quarantine.
Well, right now they wouldn't. No, right now they'd be fine because it's still green zone.
After seeing the Jets play in Townsville, Wellington, Sydney, and Melbourne.
Bloody oath. Well, I was going to Brisbane. I might still go to Brisbane. It depends on the weekend. But I'll be doing Easter in Newcastle this year. Obviously, because I'm missing this one, I'll do Newcastle in Easter. So whatever the game is around then, I know
Brisbane season finished.
I know Brisbane will be done.
It'll be season finished.
What do you mean?
Well, doesn't the A-League season finish in the last week of April?
May.
Or first week of May?
Yeah,
Grand finals first week of May.
I know it's May.
When does the regular season finish? Because I know the season finishes around my birthday.
Well, no, it's still going while your birthday's. I don't know that.
Daniel Andrews. Why are we angry at Daniel Andrews?
No,
he's just trying to keep us out of another 6 month. He's just trying to keep us out of another 6 week lockdown because you know what, the state can't afford that to happen again.
I was going to say, we're getting close to football season, mate. You don't want that shit, mate. Boxing Day testing, mate. That's the rejuvenate. That's the
season goes to June.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's what I thought. May, I thought, the end of May was like the regular season.
14th of February. Yeah, good luck with that one.
What about it? That's Valentine's Day. What about it?
Yeah.
It's also the day after my freaking daughter's birthday. So good luck with that.
Oh, I can tell you right now, mate. I won't be going anywhere on Valentine's Day.
What is it? 14th. Jets Coast game. Ooh. Yeah, not happening. And it's on a Sunday as well, so yeah, not happening. Because my daughter's birthday will be on the Saturday, so... We'll be missing that one. What else have we got? What else is there that we can look at? Friggin' March... April 2nd... Brisbane, what's the one after that? Oh, yeah, Newcastle, Wellington. I'll be at that for sure. That'll be the 9th of April. I'll be all over that. All over that. I'll be up there for that. That's over the Easter period, school holidays, so I'll be up for that one. Wellington will be for sure. I will be trying to get an away day in there somewhere.
W League finishes in March.
W League, yeah. 14th of Feb, Jets first Mariners, F3 Derby, Newcastle 6 PM. 3 double headers. Beautiful. But yeah, as we said, guys, it's one of those things. Unfortunately, yeah, I just wasn't taking the risk. Again, I didn't even friggin' look at it with Ben and shit like and consult it with him at that point. The wife's just like, yeah, friggin' 6-week-old child, 12-hour drive, and then possibly...
To be fair, we were looking at it day by day going...
Oh, we were, 100%.
It's gonna happen, just what day?
I think the early TV broadcast should be Stan Sport. No.
Another fucking subscription?
No, on KO. Just
Another
leave it.
one.
Needs to stay with
Another
KO.
one.
Needs to stay with KO. I've got every other sport on there. It just needs to stay there. No. Fox need to just pull their finger out. Just get it done. What was I going to say? I was going to say something just then. But yeah, anyway, guys. We are going to slowly start wrapping it up. I will try and do one next week. It is going to involve, obviously, a lot of work on Ben's behalf. Only for the simple fact that I'll be remote. Because I'll be away. Because obviously we're not going up to Newcastle. Mum and Dad are coming down here. And we are going to... Yes, I'm going on holidays, ladies and gentlemen. 40 minutes from my house.
I may not be available.
It may not be a Monday. Yeah. It's a Boxing Day public holiday. That's what the day would be on Monday.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not. Yeah. We'll see how we go.
I'm not allowed to stream on my holiday.
What holiday?
So I found out.
What holiday?
Now that I'm at home,
yeah.
I'm not allowed to stream on my holiday. I got yelled at today.
Because you're going to be in Newcastle for your duration of your Newcastle holiday.
I could do whatever I want, if I was in Newcastle, because I am now home.
Yep, it's family time.
Yep.
Good boy.
I've had the family boot swiftly kicked up my ass.
Good, Sarah. Good on Sarah. Let's give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Do you ever... No, not a way.
I can't even... She won't even let me do my Blackpool practice.
There it is. Everyone, round of applause. We know how invested... We know how invested Ben is with his YouTube and everything else and stuff like that. And the amount of load that Sarah friggin... Well, the length of the leash that Sarah gives Ben to do all that.
She lets me do whatever I want whenever I want. But
so for her to rein that fucker in real tight around a choker chain, good on her. But yeah, look, as I said, guys, in that regard,
to be fair, she doesn't do it often.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's why it's
applause worthy. That's why it's applause worthy, because it's
generally once a year around a certain time. Sometimes it's Easter, sometimes it's Christmas. This year it's Christmas because I'm home.
Yeah.
Because it's my first actual time ever in my working life that I actually have a week over Christmas and not just the main days.
Yeah.
That's why she's calling it now.
Aiden, you streamed last night. No. So this will come into effect from the 26th?
No, it comes into effect from Wednesday when I finish work.
Oh, okay. So it's before his actual holiday, because it was due to fly up on Boxing Day.
I'm allowed to go back to streaming when I go back to work.
On the 4th, the Monday.
Yes.
Fair enough. Well, there you go. So Ben's going to have a bit of a break. That's good. He probably deserves it, and Sarah probably deserves it as well, and the kids will enjoy it, so that's good. But as I said, guys, honestly, friggin', we're gonna wrap it up. What do we got in here? You streamed last night, yeah. Take care, and all the best to both of you and your families. Yeah, honestly, guys, it's one of those things. We hope you guys enjoy your Chrissy, your New Year's, and everything else. From us,
thank you, Mary.
From us, we pray that you guys can get down to the Central Coast and cheer on the guys. As much as it pains me to say it, I'll be pretty fucking pissed if everything's
I'll
normal.
be pretty pissed.
I'll be
at home.
Well, yeah, I'll be very...
at home.
On the balcony somewhere, I'll be friggin' absolutely shit.
I'll be in my studio. I'll be right here.
What have we got here?
Because I may be bound to family time, but she will not let... She knows that...
Oh, football.
Come to the Jets game. I only ask for a couple of hours a week.
Ben, just say
for football.
Yeah, look, I don't know what friggin' past relationships you've been involved in, but friggin' she not that stupid.
What?
Ben, just say work wants you back early. And considering he works with Dale, I don't think that's going to slide.
Yeah, that won't fly.
And I need a break
not
from
working
killing
with Dale.
Ben. Hayden needs a break from killing Ben among us. Thanks, guys. Watch the A-League on KO. Absolutely, Matty. I'll be all over that shit. Plenty of beers deep by that stage.
I don't like watching it on KO.
Well, I've got no choices.
It's only 720p, whereas when I watch it on Foxtel on my PC, I can get a 1080.
Yeah. It's pretty donkey. But anyway, it is what it is.
That means I've got to clean the garage out.
Oh yeah, there'll be plenty of those ones.
I'm going to put the projector back up.
There'll be plenty of those ones, absolutely. Wear a mask, wash your hands, and stay safe. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we're going to leave it.
Invest.
There it is. We are going to leave it there. We do thank you guys for jumping on. Again, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go and do it. I'm at 198. 2 off 200.
We are at 198.
You've got your shit. You're at fucking hits 800 yet?
No.
Oh.
707.
Oh, there you go. I can't remember. I seen 700 and I was like, I didn't see whether it was at the high end or the low end of that. What do we got here? I'm begging we go on New Year's Eve.
Aiden, we generally do.
What's this?
We generally do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what's the New Year's Eve? I'll be in the city.
I'll be at home.
Ben's more than welcome to come into the city and
I'll be at home.
Bring the kids and the rat bags and friggin' the missus and shit like that.
I'll be at home.
Everything else, but he's on house arrest, I'd say, so he'll be watching that one at home on his own. But everything else, pretty much. The week after is in Melbourne, so again, I think Gibbo's coming down. Gibbo's coming down. Chris is coming down. There's a few other of the lads. Vandy's friggin' floating around somewhere. A few other of the guys. Cheap flights, guys. Cheap flights, and just pray that obviously you're able to get in and out. Cheap accommodation.
Yes, Matty.
Cheap accommodation. Matty. What was that? Have a Chardonnay and watch the A-League with... Hell yeah!
Fuck yes!
Hell yeah! Get on that shit. Oh, the antipasto platter. All over that.
I love an antipasto platter.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So, anyway, guys, we definitely won't see you before Chrissy. Definitely will not see you before Chrissy. We'll put out some sort of... I'll get Ben to put something out because he's the guru of that shit, of Christmassy message and... whatever to everybody.
I'll work something out.
Yeah, we'll pick up something nice and shit like that. But yeah, we do hope you guys enjoy. Have a safe and Merry Christmas with your family and your loved ones. Same as New Year's. If you guys
have a Merry Christmas, guys.
As we said,
and a Happy New Year.
If you guys do get to go down to the coast and watch the game on New Year's Eve, we hope the game is a ripper.
For the cameras.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope it's a ripper. And we hope it's the best way to end 2020 with another great result against the Coast.
And we'd hate to miss it.
And again, yeah. And, other than that, guys, take it easy. Be sure to go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go like the Facebook page. Go check out Ben's stuff as well before he goes on break, because obviously you'll be out for 2 weeks. But other than that, guys...
I'm trying to get things done so I can actually get a strip.
Mary, there it is. 10th of Feb. 10th of Feb, Melbourne victory, beautiful. 8th of Jan, obviously Melbourne City. The 28th of January, I think it's just after Australia Day or just before Australia Day, whatever the hell it is. It's a Sunday.
Yeah.
Be sure to jump on that if you want as well. Western United, the guys down there are great, good accommodating.
Yeah,
and shit. We'll be down there.
They're fucking awesome.
But yeah. Other than that, guys, we'll leave you to it. Be sure to go check out Gabriel Ma Optometrist, our major sponsor. Thanks to those guys for an unbelievable year. If I don't get to it, I'll just whack that up there quickly now because whatever, if we don't stream next week.
And we may have something special on the horizon too.
Absolutely, we might, but we'll get into that in the new year once we've sorted some stuff out and hopefully they get back to us. But Gabriel Ma Optometrist, be sure, guys, go down there and check them out for all your eye care needs. It is muchly appreciated, and we do thank these guys very much. The general outfitters at Charlestown as well. Be sure to go check out those guys. The one thing I was meant to mention on tonight's show, which I'll quickly do right now. Massive shout out to Tony Bowen and his family. I apologise for everything that's happened, mate. I'm gutted for you. I know it was somewhat out of your hands and out of your control. You've done an absolute stellar job there for the past 4 years. You run that place.
You're a fucking champion, Tony.
Yeah, you run it absolutely well, mate. It was great. The food was great. Unfortunately, I never got to get there, but everyone who I know who's been there said it's been raving about it, Mum included. As I said, be sure to go check out Mama Bears. Still involved, still running. They're closed over Chrissy, obviously, but still running, still in effect as of the new year. Get behind him, guys. He'll be back bigger and better. obviously, and obviously big ups to Mayfield as well, where he'll be taking on the coaching role there for the NPL, one of the NPL youth sides as well. So take it easy, guys. Make sure you guys have a safe Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that shit. Don't drink too much. Sanitize your hands. Cover your face up. Don't spread COVID, and we will see you guys, if not next week, in the new year, fresh and raring to go for the A-League season. Take it easy, guys. Catch you guys later. And as always,
we hate Coast Scum.
We hate Coast Scum, as always. Hashtag whack it in there. Catch you later, guys.